Yo, what's up? This is Trill OG Bun B.
It's your boy Cory Mo.
And we just skipped class with the Progress Report.
The Progress Report.
All right, what's going on? It's your girl Lalaa Shepard. This is a new episode of Skipping Class presented by the Progress Report, and I'm super honored. Cory Mo, you've been supporting me from day one.
Already.
We met, DJ Funky years ago, and triple salute to you.
Candler Road days.
Yes, sir, back in the day.
Yeah.
Bun B, the legend. This is amazing. Thank you for being here.
Happy to be here.
Okay, for sure. So let's get right into it. We know we got this upcoming tape coming up, Mo Trill, but I don't think people knew that y'all dropped the first edition of it in 2022.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it, the Mo Trill project.
Yeah, so this is the second installment of Mo Trill. So this is Mo Trill.
Yeah.
The first one was off the chain. It featured everybody, and this one here is just, you know what I mean? They got a little steroids in there, so this is times 2.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
For sure. What made y'all be like, it's time to do this second installment now?
Because I left some music at Corey's house that I forgot I left, and he pressured me with it. Like, well, we got this many songs, man. We might as well just do another album.
Might as well.
Unfortunately, I didn't have a good reason to say no.
Love that. Man, can y'all recall the first time y'all met each other, and what was y'all first thoughts?
I would say he would have come around with his older brother, because his older brother was a friend of ours. And he ended up becoming one of Pimp's engineers, personal engineers, and recording a lot of Pimp solo work and a lot of our UGK pre-production. And at some point, Cory snuck in the back seat and popped up at the studio and just became a sponge, right? Just taking in as much as he could at the time. And next thing you know, he started playing beats. And I'm like, where you come from, mate? And the rest is part of UGK's history at this point,
Yeah. So that had to be like mid-90s, like 94, 93.
I would say 94 because I left in 95. So you were there when I was still around.
Mm-hmm.
I came to Atlanta for a year.
Wow. And let's talk about the importance, though, for artists to lock in with a producer for that sound, for just everything. I feel like that's important.
Well, that used to be the norm. You know what I'm saying? Most albums were done that way. You either locked in with a producer or a production team, but you stayed with that person, and that person would do the majority of the writing, songwriting, and production sometimes. And it allowed you time to really build a vibe with somebody, to really lock in on the sound, especially for younger artists that were newer coming in the game, having a sound that could really identify you amongst other people. And we kind of got away from that. Albums became more of a compilation of trying to get the hottest beats and that type of thing. And over the last couple of years, I've been trying to just find production situations where I could just lock in with one person. Because what happens is if you get a bunch of different producers, you end up with a bunch of different songs, a bunch of different sounds, and then you got to try to figure out how to make it all go together. Mm-hmm. But if you work with one person that typically sits in one space, in one wheelhouse sonically, then pretty much the body of work that they give you will all come together a lot easier. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it allows me to really lock in a lot deeper and quite honestly not have to be going all over the place and getting music from all over the place, because I can go get 5 beats from 5 different producers and have 5 great songs, but that doesn't make an EP. That doesn't make a body of work. You know what I'm saying? So we're about creating music that's a lot more cohesively coming together.
For sure. Now, that makes sense. Also, too, man, one thing I will say just over your career, you've always embraced the upcoming generation of artists. So I do want to talk about some of these features that y'all do have on this project and why y'all decided to roll with them, like Scotty ATL, salute, Akeem Ali, salute, Monaleo.
Yes.
Sorry. But and she had you on the project too recently.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's talk about that, man. Always, being a student of the game, but also too giving those students that opportunity as well.
Well, I mean, look, we have a platform that works for us, but there's always room to bring other people in. And of course, we like going with people that we're comfortable working with, Jazzy Faye and A-Ball and MJG, or like a Juicy J and Project Pat, people that we've done music with before, people that we have history with, and people that can turn over music and get us to us real quick, and they're professional about how they do it. But then we also see new talent coming up. Scotty and I have been friends. We've all known each other for several years, even before he started the grill company. You know what I'm saying? He's just a hustler and a grinder. I like his work ethic. You know what I'm saying? And even in the midst of him having a very serious rehabilitation with his leg injury, not only did he show up on the record, he showed up for the video. You know, having somebody like Monaleo, who Queenie was like, you know, I think y'all should have her on the record. You know what I'm saying? An up and coming talent making noise in Houston. The timing then ended up working out, because by the time the record released, Monaleo is a whole different type of animal in the music industry. So we started out trying to give her an opportunity, and now her energy is helping elevate our project. Guys like LaRussell, who are hot, got a lot of energy around them. People are loving the approach to the industry, you know what I'm saying? Trying to do it a more independent way, being more personable with the people that you're building a relationship with musically. And we just want that kind of energy on this album. We don't just want people that we think sound good on this song. We want to empower people that we believe can be great additions to hip hop culture.
Damn right.
And you know what? Real cool part about I want to give another shout out to Scotty, because he actually laid his verse before the accident. So he laid his verse a very long time ago. You know what I mean? And we just kept it and sat on it, and me and Ray kept messing with the beat and kept messing with the hook, and then we finally put Monaleo on there, because you know Queenie had the good idea to put it on there.
I love it.
So you know we kept it moving. So shout out to Scotty, man.
For sure, man.
And Monaleo.
Yeah.
For sure, love that. Now, let's talk about traveling and relocation for a little bit. So you know, Cory Mo, you from Houston.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Born and raised.
Talk about that come up process there for you, and talk about eventually relocating. Why?
Well, I didn't want to move to ATL. It was more of just I just wanted to get out the city, because you know Pimp had just passed, and you know I kind of hit my ceiling out there in H-Town, and I wanted to just do something new. So I literally put the whole studio in a U-Haul and just drove it out here. You know what I mean? And I set up shop. I called Greg Street.
Yeah.
I called Jazzy Faye. I say, hey man, I'm in the city. Turn me up.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
History.
Yeah.
History for sure. Now, Bun, you and my Capricorn brother Pimp C, man, y'all both originally from Port Arthur, Texas.
Yes.
Y'all was adopted by Houston, of course. So talk about, you know, what made y'all go there?
Well, to be fair, you know, we didn't really have a choice. If we wanted to be a part of the music industry, we had to leave our small town, because there was no music infrastructure there. There was no record labels. I think they had one studio in the area, but it wasn't like operating at the highest level that a recording studio could be at. So we knew that if we wanted to, one, be a part of the music industry and the music scene, we had to go there. But then we also had to try to figure out where we would be doing music at. And it was a little bit of a journey, but we figured everything out. And you know, at the time, the city was in the middle of a little territory situation between the north side of town and the south side of town. And because we weren't part of either side, we could move freely. Whereas south side artists couldn't really go to the north side, and vice versa. We could go to both. So we were able to take advantage of something that everybody couldn't at the time, and made an impression on the city as a whole. Instead of being restricted to one side of town and one group of people, we were able to expose ourselves to the whole city.
Respect. Now, can you recall your first time coming to Atlanta? What did that look like?
My first time coming to Atlanta would have been on promo for the Too Hard to Swallow album. Chaka Zulu was our driver.
Okay.
He worked with BMG at the time, so he was the guy driving us around in the white van, taking us everywhere. We went to the BMG offices. We met Biggie. Biggie was there that day because Biggie and Craig Mack were on promo tour as well, and they were celebrating Craig Mack because the single had just went gold.
Yeah.
And much respect to Craig Mack, but as a lyricist, I was, more obviously drawn to Biggie, his bootleg. His album had been bootlegged, and a good friend of mine, Rick Raw, rest in peace, had gotten a copy and let us hear it, and we were just really taken aback at how good this guy could rap. And this was before we knew he was writing the rhymes in his head and everything, so we were able to chill, smoke some weed. We went to introduce ourselves to him, but he had heard of us from the Menace to Society soundtrack, so that was just a great moment to meet that brother, you know what I'm saying? Just a really, really amazing talent. and to actually be able to build a relationship with Chaka at the same time. I remember one of the last things we did on that day was go to the radio station where Luda was there. This is in the early times, Chris Lova Lova days, where he was answering phones and people calling in, stuff like that. And eventually we got a call from him a couple of years later about doing a record with him, and obviously the rest is music and movie history.
Man,
right?
Crazy. Thank y'all for sharing that. So.
No problem.
With both of you guys, can we talk about the importance of the DJs? You know, Cory Mo, like I said, we met through the DJs, and obviously coming to Atlanta, you said that you was embraced early from the DJs and just with you as well. So can we talk about the importance of the DJs, please?
Man, the DJs is everything. Like I said, when I moved here, all I had to do was call Greg Street.
Yeah.
And I literally gave out studio time at his open mic at T.I.'s Club Crucial.
Yeah.
So I would just give out studio time to all the winners. And by the end of the year, I had all of the most talented people in Atlanta in my studio because of Greg. You see what I'm saying? So you got to show love to the DJ. Shout out to the Coalition. DJ Funky and Big X did their first Coalition meeting in my studio on Callum Road.
Makes sense.
So, you got to love the DJs, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I come from the era where DJs change your life, right? Like, you had to find a DJ and get him your music in order for people to even know who you were at the time. There was no real other way to get the music to the streets. You had to put your music in the hands of a DJ for people to hear it. So you had to go out, you had to make those relationships, you had to make friends, you know what I'm saying? Back in those days, we had Steve Fournier, who actually, Steve Fournier sells pools. Now he actually put my pool in.
Oh, wow.
In my house, which is great. Steve Fournier is one of the founders of the original record pool back in the late 80s that sent music all over the country to different DJs. So back then, like if you could get to a DJ that was affiliated with Steve Fournier, not only would your music get around Houston, it would get sent out to other DJs all around the world. So back then, the best friend you could have as a rapper coming up was a DJ. Even if he wasn't your personal DJ, that's who would have all the instrumentals for people to freestyle to. They would have access to all the new music early so you could hear what people were doing in other places. And they were the people, especially in my era, I don't know how it works in this generation, but in my era, they could actually send your music to someone at a record company and recommend you as an artist.
That part. That's real, man. Salute the DJs for sure. Now, another important component I want to talk about is entrepreneurship. Because as long as I've been around, I mean, when I think about Bun B and when I got to know you, Cory Mo, just entrepreneurship. So can we talk about it? When did y'all first, really learn and understand, like, man, I could work for myself. I could do my own thing and live life that I want to live. When did y'all first get that instilled into y'all?
Well, we started independent as a rap group, and we eventually ended up in the system. And while there are benefits to having a major record label deal, it only works if that label understands you and understands your music and knows how to properly present you to people. We found ourselves in situations where we were signed to a major label, but they weren't doing the best job of, one, understanding us, and two, promoting us. So even though we were signed to a major label distributed all around the country and around the world, we still moved as independent artists because we didn't have a lot of big videos. We weren't on magazine covers, you know what I'm saying? So we had to bring ourselves to the people. My record company never put us on a national promotional tour. So we used to get in cars and go from city to city ourselves. So even being a part of the system, but still operating with an independent mentality allowed us to get the best of both worlds and expose ourselves to as many people as possible. Now, eventually, they caught up. The record label caught up with the understanding because everyone else started talking about what we were talking about in 95. Everybody else started talking about it in like 02 and 03. So then they were like, okay, I think we get it now. You know what I'm saying? But we had to really prove ourselves, and we never depended on the label because we knew if we ever got into it and Pimp said something crazy, we going on the show. So we would be signed and then disregarded, just put on hold for like a year and a half. And so we would have to figure out how to do songs with other people, get paid features with people, still get shows booked. And sometimes we'd have to do some side hustles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just to try to keep that revenue stream coming in. You know what I'm saying? So we had to really be some real rap hustlers. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to have the hustle mentality. Then you had to have the talent to make a good rap song, put them together, get in a car on the road with a bunch of music in your trunk and make it happen.
That part.
Straight up.
That part. And could y'all just give me a couple of tips then to be a successful entrepreneur?
Don't take it personal. You can't give up, you know what I mean? And you definitely can't listen to what other people say, because it'll actually stop you from your blessings and stop you from doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Because people can't see what you see. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they don't do what you do. So
That part.
yeah.
Everybody got to have a job. Nobody rides for free. That was something I had to learn, because I just wanted as many people as I knew around me whenever we went somewhere. And I don't know if that was uncertainty, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a lack of confidence. Having people that I was used to seeing around me would give me a little bit more confidence in them scenarios. But the more you do that, the more people are counting on you, because the first time you do it and it goes good, then let's go celebrate. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go get something to drink. And then people start to believe that that's what happens after every show. And they think that that's what they're there for, to celebrate and take in the rewards of your hard work. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to have people with you, you're going to have people in the car, people traveling with you, give them work to do, give them a position, because otherwise they're going to ask you for money. Give them a chance to earn the money that they would want. You know what I'm saying? You got a homeboy that's a good communicator, that don't take no bullshit, make him your manager. You know what I'm saying? You got somebody that's, you know, quiet, professional dude, but will whoop your ass, make him your security.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, put people to work, put people in position.
Damn, great word, y'all. Love that. Now, while we speaking about eating and you got the cap on, man, we got to get into the Trill Burgers, man. Salute. Now, what made you decide to invest and get into the fast food industry?
So I was presented with a product that I couldn't turn my head away from. Like, when I was presented with the burger, not only was it the best burger, I thought it was one of the best food, some of the best food I'd ever eaten. You know what I'm saying? I was given an option to just be the face and get paid, you know, periodically for making appearances, or I could actually jump in the water, help build the company, and be one of the owners of the company. I believed in the burger, so I jumped in with it. I was willing to sacrifice what it took to build the brand, because a lot of people don't understand that every time I would do a pop-up, the pop-ups were on the weekend. I work on the weekend. So I'm building a brand where, you know, we may get out there on a Saturday, we might make $1,600, $2,400. And I'm sacrificing $25,000, $30,000 because I'm not going to perform that weekend. You know what I'm saying? So I had to convince my wife that this was a good move for us. You know what I'm saying? I had to convince my employees that count on me that this was a real thing. You know what I'm saying? But now they have room in my company. I'm making room for them in the company. So just trying to be as productive as I can, and give this the same level of passion and pursuit as I did my music career, because I believed in the burger as much as I believed in our group. So I put that same tenacity behind it, that same belief system, make sure to nurture it, be aware of it. I was a lot more aware about building this than I was about hip hop, because I didn't understand that business when I started that business. But as I eventually learned things about it, the things I learned now apply just based on the standard idea of a product. They work in this space as well too. So everything I did and every sacrifice I made before and every sacrifice I'm making now is lending itself not just to building a great burger brand, but it's rebuilding my profile in the public eye too. So that some people that may not know me as much from the music still know me from the burger without me having to compromise my culture or my integrity. So it all translates, it all works.
Man, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Now, how was it being a guest lecturer at Rice University, though?
That was different.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go to college. I didn't attend college. So I don't have a degree. I was there more as a part of like a cultural exchange, I guess, where I was the outside culture of Houston being brought on the campus. It was a great experience. I have all the respect in the world for educators now. And keep in mind, I was teaching at a private university, you know, #1 in Texas, number 17 in the country.
Sure.
But at the same time, people are spending a nice amount of money, so they're expecting a higher level of education, you know what I'm saying, more than you would normally get from a college education. So I was tested, you know what I'm saying, a lot. They asked a lot of different questions. Some I had answers to, others we didn't. So the class evolved. Every year we taught it to address things that we realized were slipping through the cracks, so to speak. But it was a really, really amazing experience to be able to speak into the youth with the truth of my journey, you know what I'm saying, and have it being appreciated. I'm actually, we just did a collaboration with a company called Chop and Block in Houston, where the owner and head chef is one of my students from Rice University. And neither of us were looking to go into the food industry when I taught and he attended. So now here we are over 10 years later, and we're both chasing this secondary passion that brought our paths back to each other. And we've celebrated that with the city, and it's amazing. It was amazing.
Crazy. Salute.
Thank you.
Now I got this segment. I want to ask you guys. I'm gonna name a song that you were a part of. I want to know your first thoughts, and I want to know your first thoughts. Okay, just first thoughts. All right. First song we got, Jeezy, Trap or Die.
That was a crazy day because I actually did 2 songs that day. I went to the studio to record with Jeezy for Trap or Die, and I left out of the booth to go use the bathroom. And while I was in the hallway, Gucci Mane was there. And so Gucci's walking down the hallway, and I introduced myself, and Gucci's a huge UGK fan, always showed love.
For sure.
And he had on a rose gold chain. And I had been wanting a rose gold chain. I said, man, where did you get this chain from? This chain is clean. He was like, I got it from Johnny, from the flea market in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm looking all over the country for a rose gold chain, and the chain right there in Houston. So I went home, went back to King Johnny, not TV Johnny, King Johnny. And King Johnny hooked me up and gave me that rose gold chain with that. I had the B from the Boston Red Sox B on my chain.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, that was a great, and I did, I actually rapped with Gucci on his Black Tea remix that same day. He asked me, did I want to rap? And I was like, you got some money? And he had some money because Gucci was still in the streets at that time. And once I finished with Jeezy, I went in another booth and laid my verse with Gucci.
Well, y'all was at Patchwork?
I want to say, yeah, Patchwork. The old Patchwork, though.
Wow. That's some historical
That's classy
stuff.
right there.
Corey, what about you? What's your first thoughts when you hear that song, that Trap or Die?
Trap or Die. For some reason, when I hear that song, I just think of me and Bun performing it because he took me on tour. Baby, I think that was like 2009 or 10 or somewhere.
Wow.
And I would have to memorize the hook. And it took me a minute to memorize that hook. So when I hear it, all I think about is Bun making sure I got that damn hook right when it's time to hit that stage.
For sure.
And most of the shows that Corey did with me were overseas because my hype man would normally do my shows with me. But when I had to go overseas, my hype man couldn't get a passport. So Corey had a passport. So by default, he ended up on the plane and on the stage.
Salute.
Finland, Spain, Norway, Czech Republic, everywhere, man. Beautiful. Canada.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man, we turned up to that song.
For sure. Okay, next one. Webbie, give me that.
That was a very serious song as far as doing it because Pimp was locked up.
Yeah.
Pimp was one of the owners of Trill Entertainment. So I was standing in the gap for him, trying to help him not only protect his investment, but kind of lend something to it. So they had been wanting me for a feature for a while, but Mel could not find the right song. And then one day he called me, you know, I say, bro, I got it, bro. I got that bitch. And he sent it to me, and I ain't gonna lie, it was jamming, and we did it. It came out, and it really, really took off. It really took off for me and Webbie. We got invited to do the pre-show for the BET Awards in LA that year. We won an ASCAP. We were nominated for an ASCAP award, Songwriters Award because of it. And it really helped push the label a little bit further. And then after that, they wiped my shoes and then independent, and then they were gone. They were gone. They ain't need me no more.
Man.
What you think when you first hear that song, when you first thinking about it?
Man, I loved it, man. It was definitely
Classic.
an ultimate strip club song.
For sure.
I wasn't around when they recorded that song, but I was around once again when it was time to get them show CDs together and
Yeah.
make sure everybody on point, putting them in order. All I can think about when I hear them old records, all I can think about is putting them in order for the show or making sure the mastering and stuff is right on it, because a while ago, the mixing wasn't too good. So at one point, Pimp had me to get their old records and cut the volumes up on all of them. You know what I mean? So whenever I think of them songs, I just think of the show order and making sure that the mastering was good. Yeah.
Too hard. Too hard. Okay, next record, 2006. Beyonce's Check on It.
I just landed from some shows. I had shows that weekend. I landed on like a Sunday evening, like later in the day than I normally land. So I know it was dark when I got the call, and it was Matthew Knowles. A dad called me and he said, "We're doing a song. It's for the new Pink Panther movie. Beyonce is in the movie, but they're not doing a soundtrack. They're just doing one song. So there is no soundtrack for that movie. It's only Check Up on It."
Damn.
So they asked me, did I want to be a part of the song? I said, absolutely. Where do I need to go? And they were like, well, Slim's on it too. Slim's working. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I hung up with him, called Slim. I'm on the way. I'm pulling up because Boss Hog had a studio at that time. So I'm like, I'm on the way. And I went through, I laid the verse. And then I remember specifically when they called and said we were going to do a video and that Hype was shooting the video.
Man.
I hit Hype directly because I had met Hype with Big Pimpin. I hit Hype directly, and there was always the moment in the video where somebody was smoking a cigar. That was like a signature scene for a Hype Williams video. And I called him, I said, I want the cigar. I called him all the time, I said, let me be the guy smoking the cigar. He was like, you got it. He was like, you got it. And so that's, when I hear the song, I remember the fun we had shooting the video, but when I see the video, I can always see myself blowing that smoke. And I was like, yep, only one person gets to do it. I got to do it. And we were wearing Mesquite. Shout out to the guys at Mesquite back in the day. They made my custom Pink Panther gear that day.
Too hard.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, Cory Mo? What you think when you hear about that record?
I mean, I couldn't believe it because, you know, Beyonce was on that thing.
Yeah.
I think I actually recorded Slim's verse. He probably came to the studio and, you know, Slim pull up, "What up, G? I'm at the gate. Let me in, G." So, you know, he sent me the instrumental. I pull it up and, you know, I couldn't believe just doing a song with Beyonce or even just, you know what I mean, engineering or just being a part of it is just dope, you know?
100%. And salute to Slim Thug, man. He came up here a couple of months ago, too, so salute to him.
That's what's up.
Now, Bun, do you realize you one of the few people that have a record with both Beyonce and Jay Z, right?
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, you one of the, maybe it's like maybe 10 people.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that
It's
many.
not that many, probably.
I don't think it's that many people that have a
I did
record.
my research, y'all. I did my research.
That has a record with
You one
both.
of the
Okay.
10. Telling you.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I know the Dream do. I know the Dream got records with both of them.
I'm gonna have to show y'all my list. I literally did the research last night, but it's the thing.
I'll take it.
But with Big Pimpin', man, my memory, I have to share this with you, man. When I was in Cincinnati, Ohio, that's where I'm from. I remember the song when it first played on the radio. I never had heard this happen before, but the radio person said, "This song is so hard, we're gonna play it back." I've never heard that happen. I was young. So talk about that record. First thoughts.
I mean, the craziest thing about it, out of all the other things that the song has, the Grammy nominations, making the band video and all of that, that it was the single most played record in the world in the year 2000.
Crazy.
And it went from being like when we first did the song and we did the video and all of that, and it was amazing, and we did making the video and all of that. Before that, we had recorded the song, and they were like, yeah, this Beyonce record is gonna be first, and we'll probably drop this song with y'all in the summer. And then the Beyonce record, it was a Mariah Carey record,
Okay.
and the Mariah Carey record didn't hit. It bricked. And so they were like, yeah, we're probably gonna move this video up. And then next week it was like, yeah, we're gonna make it the next single. And then next week they would call and be like, yeah, we just got allocated $1 million for the video. Then the next week it's like, yeah, we're going to Trinidad and Tobago to shoot the video. And then it became like, yeah, MTV's gonna make it the video. Like every week the phone calls kept getting crazier and crazier. We went to Trinidad and Tobago, but Pimp didn't come. That's a whole other story. Pimp didn't come overseas, so we ended up finishing the video in Miami, and we shot in Miami on a Friday. They edited what we shot into the video on Saturday. They started putting promos of the video on Sunday, and then on Monday it debuted on MTV.
Crazy.
And just out of here, just literally just out of here. And it's still to this day like my international calling card. I've been all around the world in clubs that I've performed in and clubs that I've just attended, and I've heard that song in pretty much every country I've ever been in, and it hit the same in every country, even when the countries where English isn't a prominent language. The song, the vibe, it means the same thing to everybody, which is insane.
Beautiful, man. Cory Mo, what's your thoughts?
I can think of when that song was like number 1 on 106 in Park, and it was number 1, and Pimp and Bun, you know, they loving it. I never forget, Pimp came to the studio, and he got out of that car, and he had some fur shoes on to match his fur floor mats in the Bentley. And he jumped out that thing looking so fly. Yeah, man, I got my shoes to match the floor mats, man. Yeah, we 106 in Park. You know, he was just feeling himself. Yeah. So, you know, I think about stuff like that, man, when I hear that song.
Amen. And again, that's one record I love to this day, putting it on. And like you said, it just instantly take you to that spot, you know? All right, last record I'm going to ask y'all about today. Got to ask about the International Players Anthem.
That's a very long story. I don't want to get into it too much, but the beat was on Project Pat's album. While Pimp was locked up, he got a hold of the album, and he had the song. Project Pat had a song called "I Choose You," which was that same track. And when Pimp came home, we were trying to do a song with them, and Pimp was like, "Hey man, y'all need to put that song with Pat back out. That shit was jamming. That I Choose You was jamming." And he was like, "Nah." That album is old, because by then the album was probably 2.5 years old. Like, nah, we on to some different shit. And Shepard like, man, that was a hit record, man. Y'all need to give me that motherfucking beat. I'll rap to that motherfucking.
Damn right.
And they was like, well, nah, Pimp, we got new shit. We got other shit. Like, nah, man, that's the one. And so reluctantly, they gave us the track, and it was originally UGK and 3 6 Mafia. They ended up having issues with their record company at the time. So as artists, they weren't cleared to be on the song, but as producers, they didn't have a deal with Sony. So we were still able to use the track, and we ended up getting Andre and Big Boy separately, wanting them. They both separately wanted to be a part of the song. We ended up getting them separately on the song. They agreed to do it together, because at the time, Outkast wasn't even releasing any music. We had to convince Andre to do the video, so Brian Barber kind of went to him and was like, look, we're going to give you creative control of the video, whatever you want it to be. So he came up with the whole idea of the video. We shot it in LA during the BET Awards. And that's why David Banner is in the video. That's why T-Pain is in the video. A couple of people, because they just happened to be in LA, found out we were shooting the video. Carl was like, can they pull up? And then they pulled up, and they say, you know, T-Pain's a choir director. David Banner, who came in a suit, which was bananas, and just came in. He showed up in a suit, and they were like, I was like, yo, just get in the car with me. And then that's how the video came to play. And then the girl walks up and gives him the money. I was like, hold up, she's supposed to be giving me the money. But it all worked out.
Yes. Cory.
Yeah, that was crazy. Man, I really missed that video, man, because I was there and I had my old Sony Handycam, so you know I'm getting behind the scenes footage, and Pimpin' Bun is just loving life. Everybody was there, Pimpin' Ken and all the players, and it was just a dope time, a dope moment. You know what I mean? I actually recorded their verses to that song, the clean edits to International Players Anthem, And I honestly didn't think that it was gonna be that crazy because Pimp called me out the blue. Hey man, you would never guess who I got on that song. Man, I got Andre on that bitch, man. I'm like, what? So, you know, it's like every step of the way, it was exciting to making that song, to the video. You know, it was just dope. It was just a dope moment.
100%, man. What's your thoughts on Outkast getting inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I think it's well deserved.
Yeah.
And I think it opens up the opportunity for UGK, who becomes eligible in 27, Ball and G, people who have made, you know, major contributions to the music industry. I think, you know, it gives us hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Because it would have to come from, your induction has to come from, it has to be driven by other artists voting for you. I think other artists would look at UGK's contributions and believe that we deserved it. And we know we got Outkast pushing for us on the inside, and Public Enemy, Chuck D pushing for us, and LL and different people like that, and Jay Z, you know, I think will push for us. So we'll just wait until we're eligible and then see where it goes.
100%. How important is accolades like Grammys and stuff to you guys?
I think it's very important. I could understand why some people may not really care about it. To me, you know, Grammy, in order to get nominated by a Grammy and eventually win a Grammy means not only do the people that know you like what you do and appreciate you, but then other people that may not fully know who you are or what you do can at least acknowledge the contribution, you know what I'm saying, and give it, you know, validity in that space. Now, some people in their career they don't believe they require that to validate them. And rightfully so. Everybody doesn't need that. But that was something that I thought would be amazing if we ever were nominated for something like that. We've never won. So if you want to talk to a Grammy winner, you can this guy over here.
For sure.
Hold up. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't even really think about winning a Grammy or even trying to get one until it actually happened.
Yeah.
So shout out to Killer Mike for that, man.
For sure.
You know, it's just, once again, just a dope moment. The timing was right, the song was right, the album was right, and shoot, you know, we just fell right into it, man. So shout out to Killer Mike and CeeLo Green on that.
Damn right, man. The South still having something to say.
Love.
That part. Man, the last question, well, two more questions. I want to know, can you describe yourself as the granddad? Let me know how you are as a grandpa.
Oh, I'm the
He's a
best.
softie.
I'm the best. No,
Candy cookies for everybody.
As you should be, man.
no, it's a lot of good cop, bad cop. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie in the situation, but I'm a great granddad. My grandparents were really, really good people, and I always felt welcome. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely, at the very least, wanted that. I wanted the idea of these little bitty babies coming in. Hey, come in, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Papa, and all that stuff. Like, I really wanted that. And I'm so glad that I have that. It repurposes and reprioritizes things for you, because you get in one mode while you're trying to raise your kids, and you know, you're very, you know, you take it very serious, and you're learning a lot of things on the way, and when you have grandkids, it's your kids' responsibility. So you look at the dynamic of how good a parent they are. You know, you look at yourself with that. You take pride in that. And then as you see grandchildren, a lot of things that we notice as grandparents is that they tend to do the same shit that their parents did
For sure.
at a certain age. So, but I mean, it's a different. It redefines exactly what legacy should be. And you know, for me, it was about, just to be honest, just about trying to make sure and leaving some money. But now it's about leaving music, leaving property. And my grandkids were not a part of this music. So they come in, they get the benefit of it, but they didn't really watch it happen. So now they get to be a part of the burgers. So like my oldest granddaughter works at Trill Burgers. You know what I'm saying? My nieces work at Trill Burger. My nephew works at Trill Burger. And they all get to be a part of this, because this is its own thing, you know?
Absolutely. Salute.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. Well, final question for both of you guys for this episode, man. Our keyword here is progress. This whole interview was progressive. So can y'all define our keyword progress? What does it mean to each of y'all?
waking up better than you were the next day. I mean, there's so many things that we put on our plate that we would love to do and get accomplished, but you know, it's one step at a time. Everything has to happen one step at a time. You have to be patient, walk through these things properly, be ready for adversity. That way, if you're going too fast, I'll give you like this. If you're running and you think the window is open or the door is open, but it's actually plate glass, you don't have time to stop. You're going to run through that window. But if you approach it cautiously and give yourself enough time to process the scene, you can just slide the door open and keep going. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have to do as you get older. You have to be patient with life and give things time to evolve. Give things time to mature. You know what I'm saying? Give shit time to happen.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
What about you, Cory Mo?
Same thing. I mean, just one step at a time, one day at a time. Anybody that's successful, whether they got Grammys or plaques, they didn't start that way. You know what I mean? So they had to start somewhere, whether it's being taught by your parents or your peers or stuff like that. You know what I mean? You have to crawl before you walk, regardless.
For sure. Well, fellas, man, we got this project coming out on the 7th.
Oh, love.
November
Man, thank y'all
7th.
again, man.
Way
This
Mo
was-
Trill.
For sure, this was phenomenal. Thank y'all again. Much continued success. We out.
Already.
Thank you,
Progress
Lalaa.
report, man. Chat.
The Progress Report.